Hello everyone and welcome back to another Roblox video. Today we are looking at Primordial Arts, a fun little game it's kind of died, but I don't really understand why, because this is a really fun game. So basically this is a fighting game where you get an element and then you can level up and then take on stronger players. And yeah, it's just, the premise is simple, but it's a lot of fun. Today, we're actually looking at a specific power, time. Time is one of the most misunderstood elements in this game. It's incredibly powerful. It's a primordial. I mean, it looks common, but that's just because I decided to spin. But anyway, it is one of the best PvP powers out there. But the problem is, those who don't know how to use it call it useless. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how to use it. So here we are in the game. I've got time equipped, and yeah, we'll start with every button that isn't the actual powers, and then I'll get into the best combinations. And I'm also going to try to avoid PvP. Even though this power is best used in PvP, I'm going to try to avoid PvP because I'm not even level 300 yet. So first off, as you can see, I've got a bit of a trail behind me. This trail can be toggled on and off by pressing Z. It doesn't give you any extra effect, it'll just show you move. It's just something that is used for move number 2. If you press E, as you can see, it creates these little orbs. Though they're randomly placed and have these numbers on them. That is hit points. And if you look at here on this list called timelines, it shows you how far you are from the timeline. You also have ultimate charge, and it takes 2% of that charge to create a timeline. It also shows you how many timelines you can have. At maximum, you can have 15 timelines, and if you're reading it, it says, when maxed out, the third attack changes. Time bomb. We'll get into that. And then pressing Q will change your moves. You have 2 attack style, rewind and fast forward with, and you have different effects for certain moves. Also, if you press V, you can target units. Now you can only target one at a time currently. Also, pressing P will turn your master clock off and on if you have it active. So, why target them? Because you see, Time's punches are pretty special compared to all other punches. Because you see, Time has a ranged, undodgeable punch. Because you target them, it hits them no matter where you are. So first off, rewind, which is what you start out with. Well, I'll let him follow me for a bit. If you use the rewind punch, it sends him back to where he was when you targeted him. Doesn't damage him or anything, it just, sends him back. It rewinds him. If you have it set to fast forward, it basically gives you the most overpowered punch in the game. It sends him flying back and deals damage. And the cooldown, not too bad. So yeah, as you can see, this is perhaps one of the best punches in the game, because, only characters with a sword can beat this, because they have a chance to block. So yeah, you can basically just spam them with punches. You can basically just... Because, most players will be using these crazy moves down here to try and beat you. But you can literally just sit there and beat them to death with your bare hands. That's pretty funny. And, with it sending them flying, and, that gives them a bit of a stun and gives you time to target them again. So you can continue pummeling them. Also, if you want to take a target off someone, you can press F and it will destroy the target. Now, move 1 is also affected by the fast forward rewind. It's sporadic suspension, like in both attack styles, but yeah, how it works is definitely changed. If you have it in rewind, if your attack style is rewind, it creates orbs of energy where your mouse is. There is a bit of a delay, but if you time it right, you'll basically deal damage per second with it. And it also creates timelines when you use it. Okay, if you have it set to fast forward, it basically creates these ranged orbs which go where your mouse is. Also delay, about the same. This doesn't seem to create any timelines. Nope, no timelines. But yeah, not a bad move. One is just where they are. One, you can just use it where they are if you get the delay right, and the other is just throwing stuff at them. It would be neat if these canceled like ranged attacks, because there are some moves in the game. I don't think they do. There are some moves that do cancel ranged attacks, but I don't think these do. Either way, it's just the standard, starter attack, Okay, so yeah. Now for move 2. Move 2 also has fast forward and rewind, alright? And they are fast forward and rewind. First off, fast forward, that's the simple one, and it looks like the player's here. Okay, whatever. Anyway, fast forward is simple. It's literally just teleports you where your mouse is. There is a limit to like the range. It is a limited range and has a really huge cooldown. It also creates a timeline where you were standing. So yeah, we'll get into why timelines are important in a minute, but yeah, it does create a timeline where you're standing, and that is really bright. That is fast forward. It's a limited range teleport with a huge cooldown. Now that might not seem good, but I mean, there aren't a lot of moves that have. There aren't a lot of elements that have a movement-based abilities. So there aren't a lot of powers that have like teleportation or like fast speed and stuff. So yeah. This is still a definite advantage over most powers in the game. If you have it set to rewind, however, remember that trail I mentioned and have been showing you guys as I run around? Basically, rewind teleports you to the beginning of this trail. So like it'll teleport me like right there. Alright, and this is one of the more overpowered moves Time has, because like if I take some damage and then rewind, as you can see, well, I mistimed that, but I do have more health than I did. So I'm going to get to full health, run over there, take some damage, and then, so yeah, I'm just going to go, take some damage, and as you can see, I am now full health. It teleports you, basically it gives you the health that you had when you were at the beginning of the trail. This is perhaps one of the most overpowered moves Time has, because you could literally be on really low health, and then, you just get all your health back, right? So yeah, that is fast forward and rewind. That basically, rewind is kind of overpowered. That's why fast forward also has a cooldown, also has a really high cooldown. Because, they gave it the same cooldown that rewind has. So yeah. Anyway, now we get on to move 3, Time Bomb. You see, Time Bomb by itself, this is where timelines start becoming important. If you have no timelines at all, Time Bomb does nothing. It literally just creates a line of energy. like a tiny beam of energy like where your mouse is and does no damage at all. However, if you have a timeline, it creates an explosion. It uses up that timeline and creates an explosion where your mouse is. It has a pretty decent cooldown, but yeah, as you can see, it just creates like a little flash of light and does nothing. Like, this dude has full health. We use it on him. He's taken no damage. Still at 500 health, if you can tell. I want to get too close or I'll start throwing snowballs at me. If you have a timeline, however, just one, as you can see, it uses up the timeline and creates the explosion. As you can see, that's actually done some damage. However, the damage stacks with the more timelines you have. So if we have 5 timelines, as you can see, it creates a much larger explosion, dealing more damage. And it goes all the way up to, this will stack all the way up to 14 timelines. The reason it doesn't go up to 15 timelines is because once you get 15 timelines out, Time Bomb becomes Temporal Convergence. Now, the thing about Temporal Convergence is it is often viewed as useless. This is what happens when you use Temporal Convergence. Yeah. And, as a bonus, everything inside the Temporal Convergence will be targeted, as you can see. So you can just repeatedly, spam punch them. Anyway, it'll continue with this field of explosions until the ultimate energy, until the ultimate charge runs out. Then yeah, that's when it happens. As you can see, we are now in negative energy. So, yeah. It's not that heavy on the damage because it is a damage over time, alright? And it lasts for a while. So, yeah. While not heavy on the damage, it does last for a while, and it can definitely buy you time to escape. Anyway, this can also definitely be useful in a fight, and is my favorite of the of Time's moves, because it is definitely the most flashy. I mean, we'll get into combinations later. So yeah, as you can see, that used up all of our timelines. Probability is perhaps my least favorite move. It's not useless. We'll just create some timelines. Hopefully we do not end up... I'm going to just destroy those timelines because, I don't want to be stuck in a wall. As you can see, so we have 3 timelines. What probability does is randomly teleport you to a timeline and gives you whatever HP is listed. So, if we teleport to this one, we will have 47 HP. If we teleport to that one, we will have 192 HP. Now you might think, well, that's not full health. You're going to be losing health. Yes. But if you're in a fight and you're down to like 10 hit points or something, and then you teleport to this one, I would now be at 47 hit points. I would basically have gained 37 health. So basically, this is sort of a last resort type move. And, beyond that, it's not that useful because it's a random teleportation. Sometimes it can teleport you into walls and stuff. It's not that good. But I mean, it's not useless because you will still be gaining health. And, if Yeah, and it also destroys all the other timelines, so, you know. And, yep, it teleports me right to that one. Yeah, it destroyed all the other timelines, you know, and me fast-forwarding created a new one, so, you know. Okay, so yeah, that's probability, not much else to say there. Next up, Master Clock. Master Clock is easily one of the most underwhelming ultimate moves, but yeah. Basically, turning it on allows you to target literally everyone. And, you know, it's basically the same thing as what Temporal Convergence did, but, you know. It only allows you to do it once, and you can also toggle it on and off by pressing. Not much else to say there. Basically, it gives you an area of effect target. You can literally target everyone at once and hit them with a punch. Or rewind them all at once. But yeah, that's basically all the moves time has and how they work. While nothing is useless, some moves are definitely better than others. So, let's start looking at PvP. First things first, obviously always have timelines ready to go. Second, another little trick I like, keep your move set to rewind. Then create temporal convergence. Literally like everything stuck in there. Well, you can just repeatedly rewind punch them into the temporal convergence. So if you're fighting players that like try to escape by running out of it, you can easily just rewind punch them back inside the convergence, keeping them trapped in there as long as it'll last. And you can use a steel heavy damage. Only reason these guys are still alive is because like I'm not even level 300. But yeah, that is definitely a good little tactic. Also, another funny thing to do is like, you know, if you're just standing on a rock and, you know, you're just standing looking around and just someone like incredibly low level, like, you know, a new player comes up and just attacks you for no reason at all, hit him with the full power temporal convergence. Like, basically, he'll like die and then respawn and he'll come back over and see the explosion is still going on. That's hilarious. All right. If you're being attacked by multiple players, then definitely use the temporal convergence and just repeatedly rewind punch them or fast forward punch them while you're standing inside the thing. You know. Maybe the rewind punch would be better. But yeah, temporal convergence basically gives you the master clock ability. Also, like, you know, definitely save rewind for when you're about to die because it will definitely extend your life, which might be the turning point you need in any PvP battle. A lot of these moves can be pretty darn useful for PvP. They aren't that useful for fighting enemies like NPCs and bosses, but again, in PvP, time is one of the best. Typically, you don't lose with time unless, you know, you're incredibly low level, incredibly bad at PvP, or you don't know what you're doing. In my case, I'm just incredibly bad at PvP. But anyway, so yeah, that is basically everything you need to know about time and how pretty overpowered it is. So anyway, I suppose that's it. Hope you guys had a fun new year. My resolution is getting 1,000 subscribers before next year, so if you could go ahead and hit that subscribe button, you'll definitely help me achieve that goal. So yeah, I hope this helps you. I would highly recommend I would highly recommend that you play this game because it is a lot of fun. It is definitely one of the better elemental PvP combat type games on Roblox, especially with how cool the moves look and everything like that. Definitely pick it up, give it a chance. If you get time, this video will definitely help you. So yeah, with that, my friends, sayonara.